Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Fresh from the Bunnies, and in this video we're going to be talking about one of my favorite products that I have only recently started using. It is Dr. P.H. Martin's India ink, and I got this colorful package. So I got this package last Christmas, around Christmas time in Canada at a Michael store, and it was one of those products that I've been wanting for a while, and it was one of those products that I just couldn't really get in Berlin up until the point that I saw them at a Michael store and I was like, oh my god, I need to get it. So I got it then, and obviously throughout, coming home back to Berlin, and then we moved locations, moved houses, we renovated a lot. This product kind of got stored away, tucked away in my new studio room, and I only kind of started using it up until the point that I remembered that I kind of had it. And yeah, I don't know, life gets in the way sometimes and you're like, oh my god, I had that. I have been playing around with this product for a few weeks now, and I am just so in love, and I am just like so excited about it. So I wanted to share in this video how I've been using this ink together with my watercolor work, and also going to be talking a little bit about the product itself. I'll also be focusing primarily on the white ink. Now the white ink is kind of a special thing for me because I always had an issue trying to find something that was, kind of a marker or a gel pen, or I even used paint up until one point to kind of do my detail work, and I was never really happy with it. So the white ink itself is something that is actually something that I am just so I'm just so in love with it. It works so great, and I'll be testing it in this video to show you how it works on a colored background and also for like minor detail work. So yeah, I'm pretty excited. I love this product and I'm going to share it with you all. Also, if you want to check out my Instagram and Facebook, links down below in the video description. I am doing a daily drawing challenge for a year. I know that sounds insane, but I mean, why not, right? Why not? So if you want to check that out, check it out in the video description, and you're going to see a lot of my work is also incorporating these inks. So without further ado, let's get started. Dr. P.H. Martin's is an American company that specializes in colorful inks. What you're seeing here is set number 1 of the Bombay India ink. This set contains 12 colors. We have yellow, red, magenta, green, blue, brown, black, white, violet, bright red, teal, and grass green. These vibrant, highly pigmented India inks are lightfast, permanent, and also waterproof once they're dry. The inks are stored in a glass bottle of 30 milliliters, and it contains a dropper on the inside. You can use them with airbrush, technical pens, a dip pen, and of course a brush. And in this video, I'll be using it only with a brush, and that's how I've been using it so far. Now, what I really like about these inks is that although when you add the ink to the paper, they are super vibrant, the colors are vibrant, they are very, very highly pigmented, but you can also dilute the color with a little bit more water, so you can actually create a really nice gradient with that. It's kind of very similar to watercolor, although you do need to work a little bit quicker because the ink can dry rather quickly. So you can definitely work with some really interesting washes in your actual painting or drawing or sketch. So this is something that I really, really value as a product. Also because I work really closely with watercolors, so this works perfectly together. Another thing that I really like about this product is that a little can go a long way, so just by dipping the tip of my brush in the ink jar, I can get a good amount of ink on there and I can do my line work, and I don't need that much ink to get a really highly pigmented color on my paper. Talking about being highly pigmented, let's take a look at the white India ink. This one literally shocked me. I was not expecting this. I was expecting it to appear a little bit more translucent rather than the opacity that it has. I was just really taken back. The ink is so bright compared to the background, especially if you're having a darker background and or colored background. Just adding a touch of this white ink, you will really get that contrast you want, or that white element that you're looking for, instead of using a gel pen and or maybe gouache. This one really does the job, and I am just so happy about it. Of course, I do have to say that you have to make sure before applying the white ink that the background is completely dry, otherwise you will get a little bit of blending happening and or bleeding. So just make sure that everything is dry, and then you can slap on that white ink and you should be good to go, and you will get that sort of detail that you're looking for. So this white ink, honestly, I'm just like, wow. It works so well. As you can see with this rabbit illustration, I'm really getting the whites that I want. Now let's switch over to a speed painting part of the video where I'll be talking about the process of how I use the inks with a watercolor. So in this example I am using, or I did draw a quick doodle in my watercolor sketchbook, and I kind of set the basic tones with watercolor before getting the outline done. Now, I'm using primarily watercolor paper when working with this ink. However, I have used it also in my Moleskine sketchbook with regular sketching paper. However, the paper was a little bit thicker, and I did not see any sort of like ink leaking to the other side. There was none of that. It actually held up really well in a regular sketchbook. So you can also use it there, but I think the primary use would then be to use it on watercolor paper. So a type of style that I've been working a lot with lately is to outline some of my work with the colorful inks. So I'm using different colors that I've never used before, for example the blue and the pink, and using a super thin brush to get that outline done. I'm still kind of shaky because it's really fine detail work that I've never really done before. I usually had a steadier hand with an actual fine liner marker, but in this case with a brush it's a lot more delicate, so I would definitely suggest to practice a few lines before you go with the actual outline work, just because you require a steady hand for this. Now, something that also works really well is, after outlining my illustration with the ink, I then wait till it's dry and I can then apply watercolor on top without the ink leaking. So you'll see some examples in this portrait that I'm drawing right now where the ink was not dry. For example, above her right shoulder, you're gonna see some of the ink was leaking a little bit, and that's because I did not wait. For the most part, I did not have this issue. I was able to outline my work and then add watercolor on top without having a bleeding effect. Another thing that you can do is mix the inks together to create a little bit of a different color and or blend them together. So in this example I was using blue and magenta, and in some occasions I was mixing the fresh ink, so it wasn't dry yet. I was mixing it around the hair to create a purplish color, just to kind of like blend into the background and also blend a little bit into her hair. So this is another possibility that you can play around with. Another trick that I have been using a lot is, because the color is so vibrant, sometimes I don't want to technically have a super bright magenta. In that case, I do dilute it with water and I will get obviously a paler tone of that magenta, and I could use play around with the outlines with that color. In some areas, maybe I want the color to be a little bit more strong, so I will apply the complete ink or the 100% ink on that area, and if I want to dilute it, I will dilute it with water first and kind of, go ahead and do the line that I want to, and yeah, create some special gradients in that manner. So it is a possibility, and it's something that I've been playing a lot with the style, and it's something that I really enjoy doing. Overall, I really have to give this product a super high rating. I don't know, 10 out of 10 or 5 stars out of 5 stars, just because the quality is great. There's a lot of things that you can do with it. It works fantastic with watercolor. I didn't have any other issues with the packaging or with the product itself. So I could highly recommend this product if you're into mixed media work and or want to maybe have a really nice tool for outlining. If we take a look at their website, we can see that the set number 1 goes for about 51 euros. And of course, there's going to be shipping costs on top of that. I was able to find a set on Amazon.de for the German market, which is about 62 euros. In store at Michael's, when I bought this in Canada, in the Toronto area, I paid, I think my parents paid for me. It was around like $80, maybe $80 to $90. So prices do vary, but yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be around the price points that I just mentioned. It's a little bit more on the expensive side, but it is definitely worth it. So that's everything for this video. I do hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, and we will see each other next weekend. Bye!